Learn to configure GL codes for real-time distribution, integrating AR transactions for posting and reconciliation. Recommended for integrating with third-party accounting systems. GL codes and real-time GL distribution remove manual effort from the accounting process. Once configured, account receivable activity is automatically translated into GL-ready entries as transactions occur. With reliable accounting logic built in, transactions are handled consistently, regardless of user or timing. The result is an efficient workflow, letting finance focus on accurate reviews, not corrections. Because GL distribution runs in real time, it can be set up at any point and is not required for AR Go Live. GL distribution setup starts by creating GL codes, which define the natural or main segment of your GL account. Next, assign entity and location codes, configuring only the segments relevant to your accounts. Finally, link GL codes to products and AR transaction types, so AR activity is automatically and accurately translated into GL-ready entries. Let's take a look. To begin configuring GL codes, start from the Accounting Home and navigate to the GL Codes tab. When you open the GL Codes window, you can begin by clicking Add GL Account. Name the GL account. We'll use Accounts Receivable in this example. Add an account number, for example 1200. Status is active. Select a type from the drop-down. In this example, I've selected Asset. Subtype is not being used but can be assigned, and currency can be added. It will pull from Company Admin if not. Control account is only used for certain account types. So for taxes, unapplied cash, accounts receivable, accounts payable, or intercompany accounts receivable, we have different control accounts. Currently, all types are supported except intercompany accounts receivable. Since I'm creating an accounts receivable account, my control account is accounts receivable. This indicates the account is for the AR side when processing payment, invoice, and adjustment entries. And here is where you can set which legal entities this account belongs to. Note, if there's a different accounts receivable for U.S. operations, you could configure that and give that legal entity U.S. operations, and then the system will know how to look at the legal entities for transactions. Last but not least, there needs to be a GL code format. The GL code format is looking for what the full string of the GL account can be. So G stands for the segment of the main GL segment, the segment we're creating here. E stands for the legal entity, and L stands for the location. You can also use static figures, and you can use dashes or periods to create the separation to get between the segments of the full GL account. In this example, we need a legal entity, a GL code, and we'll have some static text. So in my case, I'm going to say we need an entity for accounts receivable. I'll leave out location, so I'll say the next is G. That is our main segment, and then after that there's a static 999 since it's a balance sheet account. If I click Save, then it's going to save this account and leave this window blank so that I can begin entering the next account. If I click Save and Close, it'll save it and close this window. I'm going to select Save, and then we can create another type of account. In the case of accounts like revenues or expenses, you don't need all of that information. So if I wanted to create concrete revenue, I can give it a name. I can say that the natural account segment is 5,100 and the type is a revenue type. There is no need for a control account or legal entity since this is a revenue type. For the GL code format, I'm going to set as EG, and this time I'm going to ask it to pull a location. Since this is a revenue account, it's not a static and needs to have that location code. Now save and close. So now I've created one revenue account and one asset account. You can create as many accounts as you need to ensure that your products, transaction types, and bank accounts are all set up with the correct functional accounts. GL codes can be tagged to products, transaction types, and bank accounts. Product GL codes are generally revenue accounts associated with the products being invoiced. AR transaction types include payments and adjustments. Payments have either the cash or cash clearing GL code, while AR transaction types are typically liability, revenue, or expense accounts. Bank accounts are tagged when the deposit date matches the cash asset account record, and location and entity codes are if GL code formats use L or E options. For assigning the legal entity GL code, go to Company Admin and then find the Legal Entities table. Select the legal entity and assign the GL code. This is the segment of the GL account that specifies the entity the transaction belongs to. For assigning the location GL code, go to Company Admin and then find the Locations table. Select the location and assign the GL code. This is the segment of the GL account that specifies the location the transaction belongs to. Thank you for watching. You are now ready to begin seeing GL distribution data in the AR application. Feel free to contact our team with any questions or scan the QR code to learn more.